All praises to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Jim who well. And likewise, elders, Shalom to the hopeful elect. I wanted to talk about April Fool's Day and so like and the origins for that. Let me just bring out scripture. This is Proverbs 24:19. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked, for there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. My son, fear thou the Lord and the King, and meddle not with them that are given to change, for their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? Now I bring out the latter end of that scripture to really signify how Jake is given into change, pretty much following the heathen and celebrating the so-called Easter Day, right? Or Easter was yesterday, but today's so-called April Fool's Day. And the place where I'm living, I've looked out the window, I'm seeing people with balloons and stuff like that. So, and it's mostly Jake. Even during the Christmas holiday, I always see is primarily Jake that have like the Christmas ornaments and the lights out. A lot of Edomites that live around here, they don't even be doing that. So Jake is actually surpasses the wickedness of the heathens. It says April Fool's Day, occurring on April the 1st each year, has been celebrated for several centuries by different cultures, though its exact origins remain a mystery. April Fool's Day traditions include playing hoaxes or practical jokes on others, often yelling April Fools at the end to clue into the subject of the April Fool's Day prank. While its exact history is shrouded in mystery, the embrace of April Fool's Day jokes by the media and major brands has ensured the unofficial holiday's long life. And the scriptures say, how women and children rule over Jake. The pretty much the patriarch of the black community is pretty much the so-called black woman, right? Because the black community isn't even a patriarch; it's a matriarch. And I was watching a video where Jake was saying, and this came out earlier where Jake spends more money at Christmas than all the other nations, even though we have the least money. So we celebrate these people's holidays, and sorry, these wicked holidays, not holy days, holidays, right? More than the heathens do. Is It says the so-called black community, I know in the USA, accounted for about 75% of the spending. Now here it is, Jake broke as hell, but they're spending more money than any other group of people. It says some historians speculate that April Fool's Day dates back to 1582 when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar as called for by the Council of Trent in 1563. In the Julian calendar, as in the Hindu calendar, the new year began with the spring equinox around April the 1st. Now, you know, um, according to the scriptures, you know, this will probably cast as a first or second month of the year, when spring comes around because everything is renewed. But according to the heathen, the new year was in December, right? Which where everything's dead, which doesn't even make any sense. And the scriptures talking about, he shall change the times, right? So he's changed when certain things are supposed to be on certain at certain times, and he's basically he switched it to his own ends. People who were slow to get the news or failed to recognize that the start of the new year had moved to January the 1st, because originally it was on April the 1st in springtime, and continued to celebrate it during the last week of March through April 1st, became the butt of jokes and hoaxes and were called April Fools. The scriptures say, meddle not with them who are given to much change. So here they had a way of doing things and they basically changed it. So you're supposed to be on one accord, yet your yes be yes and your no be no. But these people, they change like the wind, the same thing. What's that? Joe 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 Biden. He was talking about how Easter Sunday, which was yesterday, was National Transgender Day. So you can see this man is giving in to change, because as he goes ahead with his agenda, he becomes more and more degenerate. It's like once somebody's foot in the door, next thing you know, their arm is gonna be in the door. Next thing you know, their body's gonna be in the door, and they're gonna shove the door open and come in, and they're gonna bring several more demons with them. These pranks include having paper fish placed on their backs and being referred to as poisson d'avril, April fish, and poisson in French is fish. So April fish, said to symbolize a young, easily caught fish and a gullible person. Historians have also linked April Fool's Day to festivals such as Hilaria, Latin for joyful, which was celebrated in ancient Rome at the end of March by followers of the cult Cybele. It involved people dressing up in disguises and mocking fellow citizens, and even magistrates were said to be inspired by the Egyptian legend of Isis, Osiris, and Seth. Now, you can see a common theme here, right? Because all these, what it says, ancient Rome, talks about Egypt, which you can look into the quote unquote obelisk. I believe it's an obelisk in Washington, which is symbolic of a phallus. So all these civilizations pretty much inspired Babylon the Great. It's pretty much the same spirit in these societies. You know, you had Egypt, which was uh, led by what Hamites, what would be described as dark skinned Hamites, and the same spirit that was on them is the same spirit which is in Babylon. You know, so they're pretty much, they have the same spirit on them. Is the same thing where they worship the Queen of Heaven spirit, and it's all about these pagan and heathen rituals. There's carrying on. There's also speculation that April Fool's Day was tied to the vernal equinox, or the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere, when Mother Nature fooled people with changing, unpredictable weather. History of April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day spread throughout Britain during the 18th century. In Scotland, the tradition became a 2-day event, starting with hunting a gawk, in which people were sent on phony errands. Gawk is a word for cuckoo-bird, a symbol for fool, and followed by Taily Day, which involved pranks played on people's derrieres, such as pinning fake tails or kick me signs on them. Let me just get a scripture before I carry on. This is Proverbs 3 and 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, choose none of his ways, for the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. And brothers who were just celebrating, Passover, Lord willing, their sacrifices were you know, uh, received by the Most High, so they're gonna be pretty much covered, Lord willing, till the next year. I saw a video of a Jake where I basically looked up the recipe for the leavened bread, and she said, "I hope this stays up for many years to come." That's not the spirit that the men are supposed to be in. You don't. I don't want to be here next year. I didn't. I don't. I didn't want to be here last week. You know, but it's just, it says, blessed the best be the habitation of the just, right? So the Lord has pretty much cursed the habitation of the wicked, because they not only have not celebrated the Passover, they've pretty much stuck their middle finger up to the Most High by celebrating these wicked holidays, and holly goes into, the holly tree, which was, sorry man, I just see a fly in the room that's managed to get into the room. And you talk about the holly tree, right, which was used to make quote unquote magic wands, and it says, "For the froward is an abomination to the Lord." And when you look into the word froward, is willful and disobedient. So Jake is willful and disobedient. It says, "If your dog sits when you call her to come and runs away when you tell her to sit, you can say she's froward." The adverb froward is an old-fashioned way to describe someone who's difficult and ornery. I don't know what the word honorary is to be, but that's Jake pretty much in a nutshell. Because you have all the days where Jake is supposed to celebrate in the scriptures, and Jake wants to follow, the heathen, having an irritable disposition, cantankerous and ornery old man. So Jake actually gets angry when you tell him you're not supposed to celebrate Easter and Christmas and all this other stuff, man. Let me just finish off this article real quick. It says in modern times, people have gone to great lengths to create elaborate April Fool's hoaxes. Newspapers, radio, and TV station websites have participated in April 1st tradition of reporting outrageous fictional claims that have fooled their audiences. I'm just jump ahead. For the average trickster, there's always a classic April Fool's Day prank of covering toilet paper with plant. So this is just folly, man. It's just folly. A brief, totally sincere history of April Fool's Day, Washington Post. Rare talks about 15 best April Fool's Day hoaxes. So it's pretty much a day of folly and stupidity, man. This is Ezekiel 25 and 8. Thus saith the Lord, because that Moab and Seir do say, behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathen. So, Jake is pretty much like like the heathen. We should I say, we act just like them, man. We actually surpass the wickedness of the heathen. Because we like these days more than they do. A lot of Esau don't even look at so like a lot of Esau don't even really look at these days as any days. They just look at it as a day off work. Jake actually loved this day, man. Maybe because Jake is plagued so much that it's like a respite from you know the bindings and the tasks that these people have set over you. And even when you go into the scriptures, Jake was like, oh, let's go back to Egypt where we had leeks and we had this and we had that. And that's the spirit that our people are in. You want to hearken onto the heathen. You like being here, even though is burdensome, because you like the little benefits that you get with it. This is Proverbs 22 and 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So, the elect, Lord willing, they see the evil of partaking in these holy days and these folly days. Because this is a folly day. April Fool's Day is a folly day. So you actually celebrate the Passover, and Lord will, you're trying to hide yourself from the judgment of the Lord. But these people pass on and they're punished, man, because you're pretty much sticking your finger up to the Most High. A lot of people in the world are on a literal suicide run. And the Lord's gonna get all these people back for all the stupidness that they do. And this is in the GNT. This is Ezekiel 36 and 6. It says, so prophesy to the land of Israel, tell the mountains, hills, brooks, and valleys that I, the sovereign Lord, am saying in jealous anger because of the way the nations have insulted and humiliated them. I, the sovereign Lord, solemnly promise that the surrounding nations will be humiliated. On the mountains of Israel, the trees will grow again. Well, that's going to somewhere else, but I'll leave it at that. It said the surrounding nations will be humiliated. And it's a humiliation to be a so-called black man and to have your name be Johnson. I remember this guy, right? And his name was Walks, and he was like, yeah, the Walks clan, I'm proud of my name. And he was a so-called black man, and I was looking at him like, that's not even your name. That's a name given to you by your oppressors. But our people, we take pride in the oppression, right? You take pride in that. And I think this is the KG version. This is prophesy therefore concern the land of Israel and say unto the mountains and to the hills and to the rivers and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord power, are the one, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because you have borne the shame of the heathen. So it's actually it's a shame to have the name of the heathen on you, man. It's really a mark of your slavery and your subjugation. When you look at Roots, the guy was getting whipped, Kunta Kinte, and he was whooping him and was saying, what's your name? And he said, Kunta Kinte. The guy whooped him, and in the end, he said, what's your name? He said, Tobias. And now Jake will walk around like, yeah, my name's Tobias. You know what I mean? Like, Jake take pride in being subjected, in being a slave. You take pride in Christmas and holiday and April Fool's Day and Halloween and all these stupid ass quote unquote holidays. They're not even holy days. They're fake holy days. They're holidays, right? Ah man. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me just bring out this last scripture. This is Jeremiah 2 and 14. Israel is not a slave. He was not born into slavery. Why then do his enemies hunt him down? And you taking on these things is like you're being hunted by the enemy, and you're forced to actually take on the ways of the heathen. Like you take pride in it, you know. We weren't born into slavery, but we're happy to be slaves. We're happy to follow their ways. It's like we subject ourselves at this point. You know, we're not forced to celebrate these days, but Jake will still celebrate it and take pride in it. And then when you don't want to be involved, people are looking at you like it's a strange thing. You know, so you actually you're persecuted for trying to seek righteousness, which is just wicked as all hell. But yeah, Lord willing, that was edifying. All praises to the Most High. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, double honest to the elders and apostles of Jerusalem well. Likewise, elders, shalom to the for elect. Shalom.